Hello, happy Friday, January 16th, 2026. This is going to be 10 minutes or less, and that's it. So it's going to go fast. You just have to catch up and watch some of the videos. This is going to be Gay Nazi Tobacco Swamp Pedophile Hunting Part 4, and it's going to be 10 minutes. That's it. We're going to be done by, well, maybe 15 minutes. 11:15, I'm stopping no matter what. Okay, so this is going to be fast. So, a long time ago, I started watching Stranger Things because it was because the Indiana Fever was being sponsored by it, and I thought it was a swampy kind of. I'm just trying to do fever security, especially Caitlin Clark security. I thought there could be some, violence attempted at a Indiana Fever game. So I knew from a long time ago, my kids like, especially my daughter, she liked Stranger Things, and she wanted me to watch it with her for a while. And I watched the first parts of it, and it was just Winona Ryder smoking, smoking, smoking. Yeah, it's tobacco swamp. Screw you, fucking tobacco swamp buttfuckers. Peddling cigarettes to kids and teens. Right now, I'm thinking that's also pedophilia related, and now I've since associated Stranger Things with pedophilia, and it is a pedophile sponsored show. I've decided that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I didn't watch it, but after they sponsored because Hawkins, the fake town, is very close to Indianapolis. It's in Indiana, so it makes sense that the Indiana Fever would sponsor them. Kind of, but it's like, oh god, this kind of swampy guys. So I went and watched seasons 1 through 3, and I stopped after that because I just couldn't take it anymore. But I didn't like it. But I did discover that they went from cigarettes. They're still doing cigarettes, but not as much as they used to. They went from cigarettes, which is the tobacco swamp, to talking about Xanax a little bit and talking about seeing counselors and things, and that kind of stuff is pharmaceutical swamp stuff. And then they went from that to Russia, which is defense contractor stuff. And I said, okay, they're following a typical pattern that a lot of shows have followed, because there's 4 main swamps. The tobacco swamp imploded first, and the pharmaceutical swamp imploded second. The Ukraine defense contractor swamp imploded. This is Trump doing this, imploded third, and then the religion swamp has now imploded this year, and the next thing that is going to happen is the pedophile family court swamp. Now is it? That's the final battle. I mean, it's funny. It's a lot like Stranger Things. It's like season 5 of gay Nazi tobacco swamp pedophile hunting, or just is going to be the family court swamp. Oh, actually, it's parallel in a lot of ways, because the whole reason for Stranger Things, in addition to being pedophile supported, is anti-Trump, get him out. That's the whole thing. It's very woke, and it's very, or at least up to season 4, and it's switched right at the end. I'm going to show you how I noticed that, and now I'm going to predict. The reason I'm doing this now is I want to sort of predict what's going to happen in season 5, just based on my little graphs and things. Okay, my little swamp graphs. So I just finished season 4, and I think I found a pedophile swamp flagship stock, a couple of them. So we're going to do that. Thanks to Stranger Things, and thanks to this piece of garbage. His name, I just covered him in a recent video, and I said, oh, I got to go watch Stranger Things now, because he's really into it. He's a fucking pedophile, butt fucking piece of shit, who's like a huge security threat. His name is Brett BMD7722, and he's a big security threat to Kelly Clarkson, because all the pedophiles and fantophiles and these people who want to suck baby dicks, these gay Nazis over at Kelly Clarkson's show, they just constantly let him have access to her, because they're supporting him. And he's tobacco swamp. He's been tobacco swamp for over a decade. I had my eye on this asshole from a long time ago, and now I'm just not having any of it. Where is he? Now he's having fits about Stranger Things. So I'm going to go see what's going on, because because it's boo security. But he says, I can't wait to find out if the Duffer Brothers are actual masterminds or if everyone is crazy. So we're going to find out what happened in season 5. The Duffer Brothers, by the way, are both, they're gay. What do we have? The Duffer Brothers? Those guys are gay too. So the Duffer Brothers, the creators, those two, Matt and Ross, they're twins. They're both gay. Flaming, by the way. If you can't tell those two are gay, just give up in life. Go take care of your family and let the pros take care of the swamp shit. Okay, seriously. Just don't knock Trump and then you'll be okay. You don't have to support him, you don't have to do anything, but stop. And don't bash ICE right now, because they're really battling all the more than pedophiles, the infantophiles over there in Minnesota. I mean, it's just sick shit going on in Minnesota. Just let them do their shit. The two co-CEOs of Netflix are gay, Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters. They're both gay as well. Just FYI, I'm gonna clear this out, and I'm gonna clear that out, and then we have that guy is gay too. While we're here, we're into the guy who plays one. In season 4. I guess he's in season 5 too. He's gay. Okay, just letting you know. I'm looking and I'm saying he's openly gay. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to and then this guy. So I started watching yesterday. I binged all of season 4 yesterday and part of today. And before I go on to season 5, I'm going to do this, and it's already 11:05. This is going to be done by 11:15. I swear, I don't have time for a big long thing. So, as I said, Stranger Things follows a pattern that a lot of shows do. Is they jump from, let's just show you what I'm talking about. When I did my graphs very quickly, I always use Boeing as my example of the attenuation that's happening. It's a very swampy stock. It always has. It was very swampy even back in 2001, when Congress knows they're going to do some kind of a disaster on purpose or make it an emergency. All those buttfuckers in Congress, they will short a stock and then, like Boeing, and then crash the planes into the trade center, and then they'll make money off of the stock dropping like this. They did the same thing with the fake pandemic holocaust. So Boeing is very swampy. They do stock manipulations. Taking down the 16th Amendment will take care of a lot of this, most of it. This is kind of corruption that's going to happen until you have no taxation without. If you have no taxation, if you have taxation without representation, then this is going to happen. So we need to have no taxation without representation is what taking down the 16th Amendment will do. It's going to take care of a lot of stuff for the first time in history. It's going to stick this time. So this is what Swamp Terminator Trump is doing, and this is what stocks typically look like. Less swampy, and this is what it's going to do. And then it's going to be fine, I think. Unless it starts to drop below this line, then it'll just break into pieces, go into bankruptcy. So that's Boeing. I don't know and I used to think it would be a good flagship stock for the defense contractor swamp, but I haven't, not since then. It doesn't follow. It's okay. I'm not going to use it, but it's a good example of a swampy kind of stock that's not swampy anymore. So we're going to get rid of Boeing. And then, so the first, the order of swamps that Trump has been draining, it went tobacco swamp, then pharmaceutical, then defense contractor, then religion. And I have flagship stocks to show them. I have Altria for the pharmaceutical, Pfizer for Altria for the tobacco swamp, the makers of Marlboro, Pfizer for the pharmaceutical swamp. I think I use Chevron and sometimes Shell, like an oil company, for the defense contractor swamp. It's a little bit, yeah. And then recently I found a few for the religion swamp, which was split into two. It's like the telecom companies, which is T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon. It's kind of the Jewish half, maybe, of the religion swamp. Maybe not. Maybe the Christian half, and then this other part is the cereals and snacks, PepsiCo and Kellanova, which did implode. when the religion swamp imploded, it broke up or was purchased by somebody else. PepsiCo and like General Mills and Post. And since then, I've changed my mind on Post. I think it's a non-swampy, but I'll explain that in a minute. So in 2017, you see the Marlboro stock starting to implode. That's swamp terminated trap. And then I think it might be starting to attenuate here. I don't like the fact that this one is bigger than this one. It shouldn't be doing that. I think they're getting their money from elsewhere, from Congress or somewhere else. And I think the reason they're surviving more this way is because, unlike the other swamps, when they run out of cash, they could start paying their little foot soldiers in cigarettes. So it gives them more power to be able to pay people in cigarette cartons. Like when I was in the LA County Jail, I kept telling them, I cannot believe you guys are hiring deputies who smoke, because it's very easy to corrupt them. Just for everybody out there, don't hire anybody who smokes. Like, why would you do that? It's bad for health purposes. I mean, all else being equal, and then they're also susceptible to corruption from the tobacco swamp. People can just pay them in cigarette cartons because they're so expensive, cigarettes are, that it's extra money from the tobacco swamp to do their bidding. And usually it's not in favor of the company. Usually it's to help them raid the company. Okay, so just if you have a lot of gay men who smoke in your company and they reach a critical mass, goodbye Target. You know, I was predicting that shit a long time ago. So 2017, and I just lost track. And then the pharmaceutical swamp was next. It started to implode a little bit here, but it's mostly 2019. Trump implemented some things to drain this swamp, and it was working. Look at that. This is March of it was already going downhill. And then they created the fake pandemic holocaust to save this stock and save the pharmaceutical swamp. So here comes your taxpayer money, whoop, and then it finally went down. But this sort of really caught Trump off guard a little bit. They really did a whole thing on him here, but he got back on his feet. He's fine. He's been running the country since 2016, by the way. He placed Biden in there because he knew he couldn't drain all the swamps by 224. So he needed until 228, and he's doing great. So anyway, 2017, 2019, and then the final one was 2021. And then the next swamp would be the defense contractor swamp, represented by Chevron, in 2022. So 2017 and then 19 and 21 kind of together for the pharmaceutical. And then in 2022, this is Ukraine money coming in to try to save the defense contractor swamp. That's going to start to go down. I predicted it was going to go down at the end of 2022. It's at the end of 2022, at the end of 2021. They're all at the end of and then and that should be okay and then the religion swamp. I'm using PepsiCo here. One of the things that happens is, every one of these companies, even the ones that I'm using as swamp flagship companies, they will purge or go out of business. So they look like they've possibly purged. So PepsiCo, which I always associated with, they make Cheetos, and I was having fits when the Indiana Fever was talking about Cheetos and having Cheetos reps around. I said, that's PepsiCo. That's freaking religion swamp. Is very swampy. Stay away from these people. But now it might not be a bad thing, because they look like they're already cleared out now. Like with Boeing, it looks like they bounced. They're not going to go much. They're not going to be any swampier, this religion swamp. So maybe it's okay to go and start, promoting Cheetos. I don't know, and Pepsi. Okay, yeah. I'm just saying, we'll see. It looks like they've cleaned the swamp out, and it looks like PepsiCo is going to be okay. It's fallen, and it now it could still fall. I'm just saying, keep an eye on this, and if it falls below this line sometime, just draw this line, and then if it falls below that, 10, 11, 13, I'm not going to make it. Well, maybe. Let's see. So that's that, and those are the four swamps. So now, the reason I'm saying this is because I'm watching Stranger Things, and we got up through like she's smoking, so it's tobacco swamp, and then season two, there's a little bit of pharmaceutical stuff, a little bit less smoking, but more pharmaceutical. Season three, Russia, Russia, Russia. They're following the years, like and they're just, and that's Netflix staying on top of things. They ran out of money, so they're going to get their funding for their Stranger Things elsewhere. And the whole time they're looking to get Trump out. You'll see it's all about Trump, especially when you get to season four, and it's more Russia, Russia, Russia now, and now it's like these guys in the, the one guy represents Trump, and they're talking about the gun people and the blah 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 and anti-Russia, anti-this, blah 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 at the beginning, and but one of the things that was, yeah, so then but then I noticed in season four as well. Now it's more religion. It's yeah. So season three started with Russia, 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 and they carried that through. But season four, yeah, it went like this. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Season one, tobacco. Season two, pharmaceutical. Season three, defense contractor swamp with the Russia, Russia, Russia. And season four is religion swamp. You notice it's more Christian now, and it's more, they had a lot of Christian stuff and a lot of references, and then she's like healing up. It's more Christian, and they're talking about the Satan now more than anything, and very interesting. But the religion swamp imploded. So now I'm wondering if that's what happened with season five. Everybody's complaining. My daughter said she couldn't stand it. She watched the first episode and couldn't stand season five. She didn't even finish watching it or something like that. And now I'm beginning to think maybe one of the things that happened was it was all Trump, 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 and now they're out of money, or it could be more, or season five could be the pedophilia. Could be the pedophile. Well, actually, the whole thing is pedophilia. I mean, think about it. It's like Papa. This guy has this whole crew of little kids that he's, and then they make him good in the end. Anyway, no. I'm just looking for. Okay. Let's just do this. I determined a long time ago that Billy Madison was a pedophile movie. It was pedophile funded, pedophile. It's like pedophile, redheads, possibly infantophile. But a lot of the Adam Sandler movies, I already did Adam Sandler and his pedophilia references, pedophile references. I've got like 3 different videos on that, okay? So, especially Billy Madison, and it's always trying to finagle your way into having little kids talk about adult sex. He's got little kids talking about penises and this and that, and that's just pedophile shit, okay? And he has that throughout the whole thing. You've got a grown man going back to kindergarten, a grown man who can't stop talking about sex himself, and everything's all crude and this and that, and he's going into a setting where he's with kids. Wow, let's greenlight that. I mean, who greenlighted that except for a bunch of fucking pedophiles over at NBC Universal, by the way, pedophile central over there still. So yeah, and actually, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the Kelly Clarkson show follows this too. For the longest time, I would out them for peddling cigarettes, and then I would start outing them because they were doing pharmaceutical, and then I would out them because it was all, well, the pharmaceutical was also during the COVID too, and then I would out them because it was all Ukraine, let's send money to Ukraine, and then now it's all religion. They have a lot of religious themes and things like that. So they're following the swamps, just like a lot of TV shows did this. They would go from peddling cigarettes to not always like they're always peddling cigarettes from beginning to like they're even the Stranger Things. A lot of cigarette smoking, especially over in Ukraine. So they're looking for funding. You can tell who's funding them. And in the case of cigarettes, it's illegal. You're not supposed to advertise cigarettes like that. Anyway, blah blah blah. 11:17. So what's the point? The point is I found a flagships. I found some flagship stocks, but I want to show you how I did this. Once I determined Billy Madison was a pedophile movie, I was looking for some of the product placement they had, and one of the product placements they had. What are we done with this freaking piece of shit? Yeah, thank you for showing me to Stranger Things. And Brett, and for finding a pedophile swamp stock. Thank you very much. Fucking asshole. So Wonder Bread was featured in, and I mentioned it in one of my videos. I said, well, there's Wonder Bread, and they're Flower Foods, FLO, from Billy Madison, the pedo movie. So I thought this, I mean, not everything he had in that, he had a couple of other references, and I looked at their stocks, but definitely FLO Foods was a, what do I have? Okay, I'll show you. I'm going to keep these up. There it is, Flower Foods. So you notice the others, I've got my little line here, and the other ones had big things in them would come back to the line. This does it a little bit here, but I don't know what swamp. That was like, what is that? That's like 2012 or 15. I don't know what that is. It's not even tobacco swamp because it's imploding at 2015, not at 2017. The year. Anyway, I couldn't figure this out, and what I finally figured out was it's a pedo. This is the flagship pedophile stock, because all the other swamps support the pedophile swamp, support the family court swamp with their lives. It's the final battle, but they all support it, and they'll come together to support it. So this is like constant support from tobacco and pharmaceutical here. When one goes down, the other one comes to support it. And then the final one was the religion swamp. So this is October 2023 when they pulled off the fake war in Israel, this whole Gaza thing, to get money for the religion swamp. And when that happened, everything was tanking now. The pedophile swamp was tanking until finally the pedophile swamp is all four swamps all to put together, but the religion swamp had a little bit of a revival here with some money from the Gaza war. Look at that, boop boop boop. Nope, not for very long though. Pwop. So this is good news, people. The pedophile family court swamp is tanking, thanks to Flower Foods. It's a small stock though. I need a bigger one. So this is good news. It means it's tanking. It means the final battle this year, we're going to be fine. We're going to get rid of the pedophiles. That's what's happening. Minnesota is imploding. A lot of stuff is imploding this year, right now. Boom. So just letting you know. That's one of them. So how did I find this stock? I found it from looking for product placement in a known pedophile movie or TV show. Now, so I applied the same thing to Stranger Things season 4, or actually all of it. If you remember, one of the first things that are kind of product placement was Coca-Cola, and I'm comparing it with Pepsi-Cola in a minute. So you notice Pepsi is already out the other end. So, but Coca-Cola, I'm going to look at that stock because that was in Stranger Things. It was in season 1. She with her mind, she squished a Coke can, and then they showed it again in season 4. It's a very iconic thing that happened in Stranger Things, was having that Coke can crunched with her mind. Okay, then this year I didn't check the other ones a little bit. I did check, but it was mostly cigarettes I was looking for, but I didn't look for product placement too much. I might have to go back. I'm not going to go back because I found what I needed. But this time they really featured Jif peanut butter in season 4. So that's something we're going to look at as a potential pedophile swamp stock flagship. And they featured, and then that's what they featured in the show. Those two things the most, I think. I didn't see too much else. They would mention like Sprite and other stuff like that, and do you want a Dr. Pepper or something? But I think those two, and if you find anything, just go look at the stock. It's probably a pedophile stock. But the interesting thing was it was in between the commercials. They had a commercial for Tide, Target, and Discovery Card that featured actual actors and things like that from Stranger Things, and the whole commercial is a Stranger Thing theme. Like, you have a flamethrower, and then that one father, Mr. Wheeler, went to a Target store, and then the Tide was also Stranger Things, coming in. So these three is Tide is Procter and Gamble, Target is obviously imploded a long time ago, and then Discovery Card is Capital One Finance. And then we're going to look at Netflix altogether, because that is separate. Netflix is separate from this. I mean, pedophile. It could have been pedophile, but it looks like the possibility is we're coming out the other end, and Netflix is going to be okay. But we'll see. I'm going to go through all these stocks in just a minute. Okay. So we already looked at Wonder Bread, pedo movie. It's a pedo. But let's look at Coca-Cola now. Okay. So we've got these four. Flour Foods, and now we're going to look at Coca-Cola. Well, Coca-Cola, it looks like the pharmaceuticals. Remember, the pharmaceutical did that at the beginning. It kind of went right here to 2000. So it's looking kind of pharmaceutically, except so I don't know what that is, you guys. I'm not sure, but it's fine. I mean, I'm just telling you, I recognize it. So Coca-Cola looked like it, but here is when the tobacco swamp took off, when Marlboro, Obama, I call them, came into office. So, and the stock market did too, but I think this could be a little bit of tobacco. But you know what it's looking more like? It's looking like Flour Foods, except this one little dip here. But it's like, it's not a big thing like this, like all those other swamp stocks. It is well above this line. It's well above, like all this is swampy, it looks like. Like it needs to come back to this line. But so this to me, I'm sorry, I'm just calling Coca-Cola a pedophile stock, and it's going to go down to that line. And not that I'm just saying this to anybody who's looking for sponsors for the future. Just don't go to Coca-Cola to sponsor them. I'm not saying don't drink Coca-Cola, but I'm saying I have a feeling they're going to implode, okay? Because they need to purge some buttfuckers out of there. All right, that's from the fact that it was in Stranger Things, which is they are all four swamps, which is a pedophile swamp. Stranger Things has, and same with like the Kelly Clarkson show. That's a pedophile show now, because they go from one swamp to the other. A lot of TV shows do that, but not as much as like Stranger Things and Kelly Clarkson show. Those are the only two I'm really monitoring a lot. But even then, they rely a lot on swamp input. They have a lot of gay people behind the scenes, is what I'm saying, on both of those things, and it's just got to clear that out. It's going to clear out whether we do it or not. We just want to do it safely, and I'm trying to give information on how to do that. So Coca-Cola, watch out for the representatives, is what I'm saying. They're controlled by pedophiles. They get a lot of money from pedophiles to do their bidding. And Coca-Cola is on the Dow, so we have this other factor where watch out, because Trump could be doing one thing or the other with it. So this is just graph-wise. It should be doing this. If Trump doesn't want it to do that, it's not going to do that. He's got other plans in mind for it. But naturally, it's got to get back down to this line eventually. Okay? And it is on the Dow, so keep in mind, Trump's not going to let it go out of business probably. If it's, it's going to come down to this line and bounce, and it's going to stick a lot closer. Right now, it's got a lot of swamp money here, up here. There's a lot of swampy money up here, and when the pedophiles are now imploding, they're running out of money, they're going to start selling their Coca-Cola to get cash. The pedophile buttfuckers are going to start doing that. And people in Congress, all buttfuckers. So Coca-Cola, the next one that I mentioned that showed up was Jif Peanut Butter, Jif, which is J.M. Smucker Company. And here, they look like tobacco swamp here. Remember, tobacco came up, and this is 2017, and then went doot. I mean, this looks like MO right here. If I cut you off right here, it looks just like Marlboro stock, like right here. Boom. It's not quite as swampy. It's not as pronounced, but it's definitely looking tobacco-y here. And then it goes up once again, a little bit of pharmaceutical, a little bit of all three other swamps. And then here we have, okay, finally, the pedophile swamp starts to dip, but then the religion swamp. So it's pedophile because it's more pronounced than the others, but I could see indications of all four swamps here in this stock, especially now with this little dip right here that is starting to go down to the line, and then the religion swamp money from the war in Gaza kind of saved it a little bit, just kind of like remember the fake pandemic Holocaust kind of saved Pfizer for a while, and then it's just going to start to go down. And it's got to go down to this line, and because it's J. Smucker, I don't know what that is, but it could, or it's not on the Dow. It could just go out of business. But it is a pedophile. I'm saying this is going to go down to the line, and it's pedophile related because it was heavily featured in Stranger Things season 4. Remember, it was smuggling, always Russia, 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 and it was Jif, 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 Jif. But one very interesting thing happened in the very final episode. At the very end of it, you have the redheaded girl. The gays are really into redheaded, whatever her name was, Wheeler. But she and they're introducing another redhead there because and she likes guns. But she really briefly was using Peter Pan peanut butter. Just, you could see it very briefly. And the other girl brought in a GIF at the end. Like, you could tell they were filming GIF, ran out of money, and then they went back and they said, hey, you need to come into the studio for a second and film this scene with the Peter Pan peanut butter. That's what it looked like. Because it was, it's GIF and then she's using Peter Pan. So what is Peter Pan? Peter Pan is Post. And I just got through saying that Post is, where are you? Did I put it up? There it is. So I just got through saying in my last video to Whitney Cummings and to anybody, to YouTube Boo, that that you should go to Post because it's a non-swampy, the Meriwether Post, I forget her first name, built Mar-a-Lago. It seems like she's Trump related. Not like there's some definite swampy Republican. You got to separate Republican from Trump. Okay, they're trying to conflate the two, but no, they're equally swampy over here. But Post just seems like a good thing to go to. And I mentioned that, and now here is Stranger Things that have been jumping from swamp to swamp to swamp and out of money. Now they're going over to the good side. They're going to Post. I'm taking it as a good sign. Now, Post also, if you could draw one line down here and say it has some downside to do, not as much. It could go down to here, and it could be kind of swampy because this is October. This is October 2023, so that is religion swamp here. But it's not like the others where it's like it's way above the line like this, or it's dipping, or it's like going way up and down. It just seems less swampy. And this thing where it's this line or that line, it could be bouncing up on this line because it could be doing what the Dow is doing, which is a good thing. The Dow went like this, and then right here on March 23rd, 2020, something snapped, something happened, a swamp was drained. A couple of swamps were drained during that time, and then the Dow took a different path right here. And then there's going to take another different path because, when Trump took down the Chevron doctrine, and then when he's going to take marijuana off of Schedule 1, that's all anti-tobacco. This is like, it's just, anyway. So this could be one of two things going on with Post. We'll have to see which line it follows, but it looks like it's going to be, if this is the less swampy kind of Dow thing that it did, it went like this, and then it switched on March 23rd right here. That's March 23rd, just like the Dow. It just changed gears right here with a lot of other unswampy companies like that, and then that. Like, they still have to drain, but it's not as swampy. So that's Post, and that was a good sign that I saw at Stranger Things at the end, where it's Jif, 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 and that's pedophile swamp. Actually, Jif. I've just decided. What did we decide, Proctor? What did we decide J.M. Smucker was? Yeah, pedophiles. These are all pedophiles. Okay, so that was Coca-Cola, flowers, Coca-Cola, pedophile, Smucker, pedophile stock imploding, good sign. And it's a good sign that they're not using Jif anymore. Oh, I'm predicting going into the next season. Oh, I wanted to show you Coke versus Pepsi, by the way. I already did Pepsi. What did I do Pepsi? Pepsi is kind of like my flagship religion swamp a little bit. Post is too, but Pepsi. So I'm predicting that going forward, Coca-Cola is going to implode. So season 5 is going to have a thing where there's a battle between like a couple, a lover spat where one of them likes Coke and one of them likes Pepsi, or Pepsi's going to eventually win out as being the one that is more advertised than Coke. Like they're going to feature, if they feature anything, they're going to feature Pepsi now. And I would have in the past have said, oh, that's religion swamp now, but it's not. I mean, I think Pepsi's now gotten clean. So I think that's going to be a good sign if we start seeing Pepsi more now, more than Coke. And then that's good. And it's the same here with Jif versus Peter Pan. If there's any peanut butter going forward, I think it's going to be Peter Pan and not Jif in season 5 is my prediction, because we're clearing out the pedophile swamp now. Maybe we'll see. So Procter and Gamble was the Tide commercial, and they are definitely, they look like a legit non-swamp, non-slimy company doing great all the way up until 2018. And then all of a sudden, this is looking really swampy, like all of the swamps here. They went, and just before 2023, they got some religion money here, and then boom. So this could be a pedophile starting in, this could be Trump doing stuff too. I don't know what happened. This is in the middle of his freaking, yeah, it looks like they all ran, for all the swamp creatures ran from somewhere else as a result of Trump doing something. Just Trump, look at this. You got to look at Procter and Gamble. It looks like there's some slimy swamp stuff going on here, and this is where they're heading to. So these are Procter and Gamble, all because they're associated with supporting or associated with Stranger Things. Target, we already know. So thing about Target is it looks like it kind of looks like Pepsi in that you think it's through, it's all done, but it's just a total, even though it's not. I mean, this is Target, and they're so they're just a pedophile swamp just for supporting, just for being a sponsor of Stranger Things up until now. But they're also just a pedophile 100% swamp because Target is headquartered in Minneapolis. I mean, I don't know what came first, the pedophile rings in Minneapolis or Target. I mean, they're both pedophile, period. So, and they're related. It's related. I mean, that's pedophile central, and it could have to do with Target. Very, very. So I don't know if Target's going to make it. It looks like it bounced here maybe, but it could just, like, I don't know. I'm thinking really boom, and then it's going to try to come up, but it's done. Once it breaks this line, which it looks like it might, we just have to keep going forward. But, them supporting Stranger Things, and, I don't think they're cleaned out. I think they have major problems. So it's a pedophile swamp. Just from being in Minneapolis, it's sick. Anyway, Capital One Financial Group. Now, the thing about the financial groups are they all look like this, except this one is more pronounced. So it looks like a pedophile. They all look kind of like a the Goldman Sachs, they all look like it. This one looks more pronounced though, like especially this. Like they'll be a little more, But this thing could be following the Dow. The Dow goes like, but I don't know, guys. I'm going to say for a couple of reasons. Capital One is sponsoring Stranger Things, automatic pedophile swamp assumption. And then this is their CEO. He's the creator, founder of it, Richard Fairbank. And if you, look at this. Are we going on an hour here? So,
this is the biggest disconnect that I certainly have experienced in my 3 decades of building Capital One between what we see in the in the economy itself and the actual performance of the consumer, especially from a credit point of view.
So, yeah, it's a close call, but he's gay. I could go on, and they don't have his mannerisms. I'm trying to find him talking, not just his voice. Gay redhead. It's just pedophile. And then also, I love these commercials, by the way. The Capital One man. I think he's a redhead, but then they have this guy, redhead.
Whoa, it's the Capital One Bank guy. That's me. Could we get a selfie? Of course. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One.
Yeah, this is funny. And then he's sleeping in the. Don't you go home? And then he sleeps there. Anyway, love that commercial, but the red hair and for these two, I didn't notice that before. But yeah, I love that commercial, but it's kind of the redhead thing, and then they're sponsoring Stranger Things, so it's pedophile stock, guys. Out of all the bank stocks, they all kind of look similar, but this one, if one bank goes, I'm going to say it's Capital One. So that's Post, and the Dow. What else is left? Oh, I just wanted to say General Mills just tanked today. Oh, we're going to do Netflix at the end. Okay, so General Mills was the other one, and I thought they might make it, but I don't know. I'm not saying they're pedophile swamp because I don't see any other. They're looking like tobacco here. Maybe they are pedophile because it's tobacco and then it's something else. And then in October, yeah, General Mills is more than just religion swamp stock. It's pedophile swamp. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe these General Mills, Killanova, maybe it's not just religion. Maybe they're pedophile swamp because, like T-Mobile. Let me see. Dang, all the religion swamps went down today. Maybe it's, okay, yes, it's just religion. Oh my God, you guys, I just figured this out. So, remember I was calling the cereal stocks and the snacks. What does PepsiCo look like? Oh no, PepsiCo is just religion. Okay. Never mind. Okay, well PepsiCo is just religion, but cereal, it's because General Mills is. I think when a stock looks like. Oh, you know what? Disney started to look like that too. I'm sorry, guys. I was thinking, wow, the pedophile stock. It's a pedophile stock. Like they started to, yeah. This is like pharmaceutical. And then, oh, it's just ugly though. CSA. They could not. Oh, you know what? Everything that looked ugly today. What did the Dow do today? The Dow was down by 0.17%, barely. It's at zero, and yet you have everything. Okay, everybody, we're gonna check everything that went down today by a lot is a pedophile stock. Sam is pedophile. I've already determined that. Disney is pedophile. What else is pedophile? Not Pepsi, but, well, Pepsi did not go down a lot today, just by 0.17. But GIS stock is pedophile. Yes! And then, what else did we say was pedophile? Coca-Cola? Oh, sorry. Oh no. Well, maybe not. Well, because they're not imploding yet. So yeah, Coca-Cola's not imploding yet. It's gonna be like the last thing to go down. Are we pedophile still? No, they are cleaned out. Dang it. PG. Pedophile. No. Maybe they're not. Smucker J. M. Stocks. Sorry, guys. Down a lot. Okay, so maybe not Procter and Gamble, but Smuckers. Okay, okay. You get what I'm saying. Check today. Everything that went down a lot is a pedophile stock. Except Coca-Cola is a pedophile stock. It's going to start to go down. They're just like the last holding. What did Flowers Foods do today? That's a pedophile stock. One, that's a lot. I mean, they've already imploded a long time ago. Because they could all be better, but some of them are imploding earlier before. So, Target, Discover Card, COF. Let's see what they did today. Oh, well, maybe, yeah, financial stuff is going to be harder to, I can't tell. So maybe not financial one. Yeah, I'm going to stay out of it. It could be like Coca-Cola I'm saying if the banks start to implode and a little bit later, this one is like the weaker one, I think. It's going to implode more. So has Target cleaned out yet? Yeah, Target might have cleared out. I'll do that later, you guys. I'm just showing you. Anyway, I'm just trying to distinguish between what I was calling religion swamp before and not. What did I say? This is a pedophile. This is definitely a pedophile swamp. Oh God, that's ugly as hell. Oh yeah, pedophile. So it's pedophile and it's going out of business. General Mills people. What did they make? Oh, you know what they were in was I just did a whole movie on this. They were like the toaster strudels. They were in Deadpool. So that's no longer just a cigarette. That's a pedo movie. Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds, gay dude. That's a pedo movie. General Mills is Cheerios. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. That was interesting. I have to look up some more stuff later, but so did we go? Okay. So we're gonna do Netflix, and I'm done. Oh, it's been an hour. Oh, jeez. I'm posting this before midnight. This is it, guys. So, what about Netflix? So, what makes me say Netflix is out of the water is when I get to rom-coms. When I get to rom-coms next week, I'm so far behind. This was supposed to be weeks ago. I was getting to rom-coms. I don't even have. I have the top 11 list, but in my top 11 list of super screened, like you should see the screening. I'm not going to show it now but what gets disqualified and booted out of the top 11? It's amazing. All the pedo stuff, the pedo references, the swampy, everything. I call it just gay white male influences on the rom-coms. It's very important. That's where they try to get their propaganda in. And, this is where they try to, control culture and everything forever. For millennia, they've been doing this shit. So, they're going to be focusing on rom-coms. But 3 out of the 11 are from Netflix and were created in the last 2 or 3 years. So Netflix is definitely coming out of this. Right around here I said, short these guys, they're swampy. I was saying that right in like November of 2022. And then they went up 500%, I mean, because they were getting money from other places. They went from tobacco to pharmaceutical to, but not. So they do have to purge there, and I'm not trusting their two co-leaders are gay men, but maybe they're smart. They could have some good gays there. Who knows? Maybe not. But it looks like they've purged. So here's my prediction for them: they're not going to fall below this line. I just made a new line now, because the 2021 doesn't work anymore. So this is a new support line. I just made it up, and I'm predicting that as of, I have to wait till we get closer, but in April sometime, it's going to hit around 60 and bounce. It's not going to go out of business, but it's still some downside to it, is what I'm saying. But the good news is, I think they're going to keep making. I think they're purging now. I think they're out of. I think they're purging. I think everything's going to be okay. Did you hear Nike just gave like a couple of million to Trump? This is it. I gotta post this because it's gonna be posted today. But Nike, and so that means perhaps they are also really teetering. This is so close, you guys. I could barely. I have to get really skinny, and it's so close. Like, where is it? Yeah, it's so close. If this is, I think they've gone below. It's really close. I hope. Well, anyway, if Trump is in on it, then they'll be okay. I think they've broken the line there. I think they've broken the line, man. They are in trouble, just like General Mills, you guys. Nike looks like, but Trump might help them. We'll see. Okay, that's it. All of this is predicting. I'm gonna do season 4. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna do season 5 now, and I'm predicting. Oh, the other, yeah, like it was anti-Trump, the whole thing. Remember that basketball player? He's a white and he went crazy, and at the end he's like punching the black kid, and they're trying to make it like George Floyd, and it's all his fault. Everything was his fault because he was dumb and stupid, and and then they always had him in suits, and it was supposed to be MAGA, obviously, and this is so woke and so stupid. So I bet you everybody's whining and complaining. This buttfucker guy, he's complaining about the ending. He's complaining about season 5. They might have run out of money, but everybody wanted that kid to have his comeuppance because that guy's Trump. That there's one character that is Trump, and so it didn't end the way the woke people wanted it to politically, I guess. So we'll see. Maybe they are switching over to the coming over to the bright side, the upside. That's it. Bye. Living my best life. Everything's gonna be okay. Everybody, hang in there. And it's a good day for a great day. Godspeed to everybody coming out the other side in one piece. PEACE and PIEC. I'm posting this right now. I'm not even gonna go through it. Bye.